Hey everybody, we're the Bayou Boys. I'm Boudreaux. And I'm Thibodeau. And there's three things that we love doing: eating boudin, eating crawfish, and watching WGS-TV.
Hello everyone, welcome to another installment of WGS-TV right here on YouTube.com/WrestleGamer and ZFXTV. I'm W. Billy Boudreaux, your official WrestleGamer. I've got a few guys to introduce you to. First off, he is the host of Hardcore Wrestling Radio, which can be heard exclusively on Spreaker.com/HWR Media. It is the illuminous one, the shining star, Rick Star. Rick, how you shining?
I'm doing good, Billy. Thanks for having me.
Our resident music mogul is here from YouTube.com/Lance Moss TV, the incomparable Lance Moss. Lance, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
From YouTube.com/KillerXKenny and the man from South Park, simply known as Cartman. Cartman, what's up?
Not much. Just playing Minecraft.
and he's here. He's Bay Area.
Please stop, Billy. Please
MVP.
I'm gonna need you to get some green tea over there, sir. But thank you for having me.
Well, as it was announced on Monday Night Raw this week, we have the answer we've been looking for. You know, we talked about it a couple of days ago on a discussion with Ashton Spears from the Trilogy about what could happen with Dolph Ziggler. Well, we did get that answer. Dolph Ziggler is out of the match at Extreme Rules, but he is not stripped of the title. Instead, this is the change they have made, guys and gals. It is now a #1 contenders match, with the stipulation being it's an I Quit match. Now it's going to be one-on-one Jack Swagger versus Alberto Del Rio. Now, on our Monday Night Raw review this week, we kind of got Lance Moss's and Rick Starr's reactions to the announcement of the I Quit match. I want to throw it to you first, Cartman, and get your reaction to the announcement of this matchup now being a I Quit match for the #1 contendership, Alberto Del Rio taking on Jack Swagger. What are your thoughts about that?
I like the idea of the match, but I figured that because of the fact that Ziggler wouldn't be able to actually wrestle at the pay-per-view, that they would strip him of the title and put it up for the title with between Swagger and Del Rio. But I'm fine with an I Quit match too. It works.
Bay Area MVP, what about you? What are your reactions to that?
Oh man, I'm actually speechless on this one. For the first time, I'm actually speechless.
Wow.
This has never happened before.
Well,
I just wish something good would come out of it, though.
Well, Rick Starr, do you think this is an appropriate substitute to not having the triple threat ladder match for the World Heavyweight Championship because of Dolph Ziggler's injury? Rick?
Stupid. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I do agree that it should be a #1 contender match. That would have made absolute sense. Just take him out of the, Ziggler out and just put the two in. But what they should have done was put a big contract right up there, instead of the title, and that would still be a ladder match. The I Quit match, but it still works, and I still think it's gonna be a great match one way or another. Both men are submissionists, so why not?
Lance, let me ask you this question. Rick brings up an interesting point. Do you feel that they should have kept the match as a ladder match and put a contract up there with the #1 contendership and have that be the carrot that they're dangling for these two guys instead of making it an I Quit match?
I do think that would be a good alternative. Just take one guy. If the champion gets hurt, why not do a Money in the Bank style match for the #1 contendership? Makes sense to me.
Carmen, I gotta ask you this: do you see this matchup being a good match between Del Rio and Swagger, an I Quit match?
Yeah, I can, because like Rick said, they're both really good submission wrestlers, so I can see it being a pretty good I Quit match.
Bay Area MVP. Same question to you. Do you see this being a good match between Del Rio and Swagger, or do you feel like Rick said it should have stayed as a ladder match and instead having a title up there, have a contract with the #1 contendership on it?
They should have kept it as a ladder match. I mean, like you just said, they're both submissionist. I mean, they got good footwork. The technical skills is good. And I mean, now I wanted to say previously is yeah. I mean, it sucks that Ziggler's out, but he still keeps the title. But going back to the current question, they should stick it as a ladder match. I mean, between both submissionists. I mean, give the fans what they want. I mean, you just down to this match, you're gonna lose a lot of viewership that way. I say keep it as a ladder match and let it keep going.
Well, you really can't fault WWE for the change in the match. I mean, injuries happen like this, and I'm sure a lot of fans out there, and I'm sure that WWE wasn't really prepared to have Ziggler get a concussion, which forced him to have retrograde amnesia and forced him to sit out. When concussions, one of the things Ashton Spears says, it's something that you shouldn't take very lightly.
Oh, of course, of course. I mean, the WWE always protects its wrestlers, when injured. And, I just read a recent report about another wrestler. We'll leave that for another segment. But, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to down the WWE. I mean, you're right. It would just be more exciting, just to leave it as is, get the crowd on their feet,
Well, it's time to go into final thoughts and predictions. Guys and gals, you're going to hear everyone's thoughts and predictions on this matchup, the I Quit match for the #1 contendership, Alberto Del Rio versus Jack Swagger. Rick Starr, starting with you, your prediction for the match.
This is gonna be a tough one to call, especially with an I Quit. I wouldn't be surprised if it would be Swagger because if Ziggler's coming back, keep in mind, I still say it was Swagger that was the one to hit him with the ladder, but I think they're gonna have him come back as try to turn him over as a babyface. They tell you he's been getting pops, so why not go with it? So that's my call. So I'm saying Swagger's getting the win.
As we turn it over to Lance Moss. Lance, who becomes the #1 contender?
Swagger.
Swagger says I quit.
No, Swagger gets the #1 contendership.
Really? You see Del Rio saying I quit in the match?
Possibly. Or some Spanish version of I Quit. I don't know what that is, but yeah.
Wow.
No mas.
No mas. He said.
I Quit. I think it's a submission match. It's not a quit match. It's a submission match.
No,
it's not.
It's an I Quit match. They announced it as an I Quit match.
Oh, okay. It's one of those.
Cartman, let's go over to you. Your thoughts, the I Quit match for the #1 contendership, Jack Swagger versus Alberto Del Rio. You going with Swagger being the winner?
Yep.
Really? Why do you see Swagger being the winner?
Because of the way that Ziggler's been getting the crowds taking him over as a face and not a heel. Even though WWE's been trying to push the heel gimmick with him, and he's been acting like more of a face. Well, the crowd has been taking over like a face instead of a heel. So I can see them bringing Ziggler back as like somebody else said, a baby face, and having then have the Swagger, obviously he's the heel, so have Swagger go up against Ziggler.
All right, well, guys and gals, he's a little tardy to the party, but he is here nonetheless. Our old friend from the Big Easy, James, is here. James, we're talking about the new matchup that was made because of Dolph Ziggler's injury. It was made on Monday Night Raw. Dolph Ziggler is out of the match, but he is still champion. They're not taking the title off of him. Instead, the match has been changed. It is no longer a ladder match. It is now an I Quit match with the #1 contendership to the World Heavyweight Championship on the line. Alberto Del Rio taking on Jack Swagger. Your thoughts and predictions on this match?
Well, it's kind of interesting that they changed up the style of the match instead of making it just a regular ladder match. But I kind of agree with the match stipulation because both Swagger and Del Rio have a finisher that's a submission style, and that's the arm breaker of Alberto Del Rio and the Patriot lock of Jack Swagger. So, but I guess WWE is just giving him giving Dolph Ziggler a rest instead of and to have him maybe defend the title at Payback, which is not 30 days technically. So, my prediction is Alberto Del Rio to win the #1 contendership match.
And lastly, we're gonna go over to Bay Area MVP. Bay Area MVP, your thoughts, your prediction. Who says I quit? Who becomes the new #1 contender for the World Heavyweight title?
All right. Since I'm the one that's Spanish, how to say I quit in Spanish is solia. That means I quit or I give up. So write that down. And this is where Del Rio is gonna win because WWE's trying to make him as a top babyface, for all the Latin viewers. So I don't know if anybody caught on. And Swagger, I mean, has anybody got any notices about his court date or whatever that thing that happened? I don't know. But
To eat the people.
yeah, whatever that theme he goes by. But yeah, this is where Del Rio will win, and he will pretty much get his rematch here.
Well,
And Swagger will quit.
here are my thoughts and my predictions for Jack Swagger taking on Alberto Del Rio in the I Quit match for the #1 contendership. First off, I gotta say this is indeed an appropriate substitute to the unfortunate timing of Dolph Ziggler's injury. And James does bring up a very interesting point. Now he has time to rest up until their next pay-per-view, which is a lot longer than 30 days away on WWE Payback, so that way he has an appropriate amount of time to recover and rest from the concussion injury. So that was a very interesting point to bring up there, James. As far as looking at this match goes, if they're keeping Ziggler heel, it really wouldn't make sense for Swagger to win the #1 contendership. Now, a lot of fans are saying, it's high time that he gets #1 contendership. Well, if they really want to do that, then they have to turn Ziggler face. They would have to turn Ziggler face, in my opinion, because I don't see them being able to work heel versus heel for a main event for your world title. I just don't really see that happening because the fans, if they look at heel versus heel, they're not going to care. They're not going to get into the match no matter what. Despite all the Dolph Ziggler marks out there, and I'm not ashamed to say it, I'm one of them because I'm very impressed with the guy. He's got a great ethic. He's getting good on the microphone, and it's high time that he got his chance to be world champion. I'm really glad about the decision for them to not take the title off of him and put this as a #1 contendership. But technically speaking, looking at it right now, when you see Jack Swagger heel versus Alberto Del Rio face, with the winner to take on Dolph Ziggler, who is technically right now your heel champion on Friday Night SmackDown, then it would positively make more sense for your face, who is Alberto Del Rio, to come away with the win and the #1 contendership rather than Jack Swagger. The only thing that I would see opposing this situation is for WWE to kind of turn Dolph Ziggler face, and they possibly could use this concussion, use the concussion as maybe a possible storyline, of him, overcoming the odds and and finally working back to get there, get back there as champion. It's something that they could do if they want to use to turn him face. But right now, as I see it plainly, right now it's got to be Alberto Del Rio that comes away with the #1 contendership. That's my prediction and my thoughts. But what we want to know now from you guys out there, the viewers and subscribers, your thoughts. Who says I quit? Who comes away with the #1 contendership? Alberto Del Rio or Jack Swagger? Put your answers in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and favorite this video. Rick, where can fans check you out on HWR?
If they want to find me on my Facebook page, that would be facebook.com/Hardcore Wrestling Radio. And of course, you want to listen to any of our shows, including right here, WGS-TV shows. That's Spreaker.com/HWR Media.
Lance Moss from Lance Moss TV. Lance, what can fans expect when they visit your channel over on YouTube.com/Lance Moss TV?
Wrestling reviews, album reviews, and NASCAR reviews, and basically whatever else pops into my head.
Carmen is over on YouTube.com/KillerXKenny. Carmen, what you got going on over in your neck of the woods?
Minecraft. WWE builds in Minecraft.
Be sure you guys check that out and subscribe to both their channels as well as follow Rick on Spreaker.com/HWRmedia. And also don't forget to please subscribe to YouTube.com/WrestleGamer and YouTube.com/ZFXTV Network. So for the Illuminous one, the Shining Star, Rick Starr, the man from South Park simply known as Cartman, Bay Area MVP. Our old friend from the Big Easy, James, and the incomparable Lance Moss from YouTube.com/LanceMossTV. I'm Double B Bully Boudreaux, saying thank you very much for watching.
Stoke answers. Stoke answers. Stoke answers. Stoke answers. Spiritual speaking. Stoke answers. Stoke answers. I'm Haley Ringrose. Stoke answers.
My name's Andrew Weatherall.
Spiritual speaking. Stoke answers.